What is up? What is up? What is up? How you doing? We're getting fueled up and ready to go. Fueled up and ready to go. Do some drawing. Some orange juice with mixed in with some pepper and some guarana. I don't know what the hell this is on the bottom. Cardboard or something? I don't know. Like, what the hell? What the hell is going on? Hey, Embra, how you doing? Belly dance oriental. Exactly. You know, you really know how to read my mind. We really like belly dancing and orientale. I don't know what you mean by oriental. Is that a video game? Like, I don't know. I don't even know what's going on here. What the hell is even that? What the hell is even that? We're possibly getting a little bit too caffeinated, but it's okay. We got a lot of drawing to do. Possibly play some chess later. Or actually... You know what? Like, I just, like, have not felt like logging into World of Warcraft, and that's okay. I will get there, don't worry. Maybe we'll wait till we move out to the new apartment. Because I think that, I think that'll be a good time to transition back to World of Warcraft. Hopefully it happens soon. I do not want to waste... I don't want to miss out on the Burning Crusade. In era. Like, I don't want to be going through Burning Crusade during Wrath of the Lich King. Like, I want to be going through Burning Crusade as it happened. I have never actually done a single raid. Like, outside of, like, Dragonflight, I did a raid once. Or twice. And that was, like, Dragonflight, like, Season 3 or whatever. Now, obviously, it's not like we're gonna run out of time. Even when they do switch over, Wrath of the Lich King, Burning Crusade and Wrath of the Lich King, it's like a soft transition, right? Apparently, like, from what I understand. But it would be nice to actually do some raids in era. Like, I actually want to experience that, so we will get there. We will get there. It's just, right now I'm focusing on drawing and I'm, like, trying to get through, like, this really messed up time. Yeah, I'm trying to get through this really messed up time in my life. And it's gonna be a new chapter, for sure. It's definitely gonna be a new chapter. It's gonna be completely, like, I get to actually get my bearings, and figure out exactly how I'm gonna structure my life. Right now, I have basically just been running on fumes. Like, just basically just trying to survive. Ow, I did the thing where it's like you hit your finger against your eye, and it's like, ugh, that sucks. Shakira hip hop. Exactly. YT Jack, why do you feel sorry? No, it's good. It's fine. I've been sharing this with my stream for a very long time. Can I ask you something? Yeah, sure. Go ahead. I've just been I feel like this, like, I feel weak. You look like Sid from Ice Age. What are you talking? I don't even know how to do the voice. You think I look like Sid from... I don't even... How do you do the voice? Like, how do you do the, like... Succotash. Like... Succotash. Like, it's like that weird, like, lisp, but it's not a lisp. It's like... It's almost like he's wearing braces. Hi, what's up, Serby? How you doing? You been drawing today? I'm gonna be drawing. I sharpened all my pencils. Trying to get my hair right. That's another thing, like when I moved to my new apartment, I say apartment, but it's a room, but I'm just gonna consider it to be an apartment. When I moved to my new apartment, I'm gonna have like a lot more exploration of like what to do with my hair, what to do, like explore makeup. We could do some makeup videos. Like every stream, I should probably start every stream just doing my makeup to record like a makeup video. And then after the stream, I can go in and edit up a video for YouTube Shorts and TikTok and all that. Okay, Ambroise, you've just been spamming. I'm actually gonna block you. You've just been spamming Belly Dance and Shakira nonstop. It was kind of cute, but I'm sure it's probably annoying a lot of my chatters. And it's kind of annoying me too. So I don't spam, okay? I think that was a bot. Please? What do you mean? I told you can ask me something. What do you want to ask? Never ask to ask. It's such like a thing that like a lot of people think that they need to ask permission to ask a question. It's like by the time I actually see your message, like just ask the question. So that when I see your message, I already know what the question is. I don't have to wait for you to type it out, right? Don't ask to ask, just ask. Like come on, bro. How am I supposed to do my hair? I want to do the thing where it's like floating, like up, and like a kind of messy looking ponytail, but I don't want it to like, the integrity of the front side of my hair needs to, like I want to do the thing where it's like floating, like right? It's kind of floaty, right? But also I don't want to like ruin the integrity of the front portion of my hair. Because if I pull back on my scalp, that's not good either. I actually am really good about not tugging on my hair and stuff like that. Like, if it looks like it's tugging, it's like I've formulated an illusion. I'm really understanding of like the do's and don'ts a lot of the time of like how not to ruin your hair and how not to ruin your skin. So if I do make something look like it's being pulled or tight, that's an illusion. Okay, like I'm really good at like doing that, like make it look like it's tight, right? So it's like, I don't know. That kind of stuff is gonna really play, like that's really gonna come to play. Like when I go through the phase of my life where I'm genuinely exploring my appearance and like my beauty expression, like my cosmetic expression, like doing different makeup and hairstyles and all sorts of stuff that we can do on stream. I really can't do that kind of stuff right now. My life is just in shambles. Okay, like this living situation is just it's completely destroyed everything that I've wanted to build in my life. It's completely just torn me down. It's really sabotaging my entire life trajectory. The longer I'm here, but I'm gonna get out soon. They're finding me a new place to live. So, yeah, that's just how it goes. Not really much I can do about it, but it's okay. Are you just trolling YT Jack? You said like, can I ask you something? And then you said please, and then you just, where are you? Where are you, YT Jack? YouTube Jack? Or Bry Guy, prop your feet up and relax. You're not getting free feet content, okay? Jesus Christ. No, you gotta pay for that. It's okay. No free feet on this channel. Plus, I feel like I need to give myself a foot. I need to like go to a spa. When I move out, one of the first things I'm gonna do is save up some money and go to an actual like 3-day spa or something like that. Like at least a 1-day spa, right? Like I want to go like on a spa trip. Like actually, I mean, ironically, like as soon as I move in, I'm all settled. I save up like a few months or something. I actually want to go like take an actual genuine vacation and know that I'm returning to a home, right? So like that when you come back, that's really what matters. Because a vacation, if you go on vacation, it's almost like you can't even really enjoy the vacation if you're gonna come back to the same old bullshit. So I think what's gonna happen is as soon as I'm like kind of situated, we've done a few live streams and such. Like I have my room. Like I'm probably even gonna do some live streams where we organize the room and stuff like that. I'm gonna do a lot of that on my own. I think that's spiritually necessary to do that on your own. But like there will be a time, like obviously I will have everything, like I want to organize everything the way I want it for long term, and everything will be like nice and clean. So when I do go on like a spa vacation, when I come back, it's not like I'm coming back to a messy house. Like you want to do the dishes before you go on a vacation, right? Like, so like, you don't want to come home and like everything's bad. Like you want to come home and be like, that was such a good vacation. And then you have everything nice and clean and nice and organized. That's what it's going to be like. And I can't wait for it. But I definitely do need to go to the spa. Like I need to get a at least need like a mani-pedi, right? So like I need to get like my hair done, like with like a deep like conditioning and like treatments and like, figure out my next hairstyle for that phase of my life and start learning how to do makeup. We're going to be doing that on stream. I think doing a makeup session of the stream, it's also making good content because that's pulling in some new viewers, because about like 98% of my viewers are male, and I would like to pull in some female viewers. So like sharing like the girly side of my content, like doing makeup, doing hair and stuff like that. I'm sure there's a lot of guys who are into that too, but it's just, I think there's a lot of people that are on my channel that are, I attract a certain type of audience because I'm like, kind of more sexual, but also like on stream, I'm more nerdy and like I appeal to like the male gamer, right? Like, I think somewhat because I like relate a lot to, I don't know, just I think being a female content creator, it's harder to, it's like, you have to, in order to appeal to more female viewers, you need to kind of focus on some different aspects, because I think a lot of women don't really watch content like the same kind of content the way guys do. So a lot of female streamers will have a very large amount of male viewers. Makeup videos, nice. Yeah, I need to learn how to do makeup properly. So when I'm in my new living situation, I'm going to set up various streaming setups, and one of them is going to be doing makeup, and we're going to start every stream just by like doing makeup, recording the video footage, and I'm probably not even going to interact. I mean, I don't know, it depends on how I feel. It would be nice to just like set up the camera, do makeup, and just like at the beginning of the stream, and then after I'm done with that, then I switch over to my desktop area, like my normal stream setup. I don't know. I can figure out all that kind of stuff. Different aspects. Oh shit, Nico. Shake that ass. Nice. Female clocker clocking in. Female clocker. Female viewer clocking in. 07. I think the caffeine is hitting. Nicolay. Okay. What are we doing? I need to set up for drawing. I haven't even opened up these yet. I got a he and a she. Like I got this set. I don't know if I want to work with humanoid anatomy yet. Yeah, I got gray color, archetype next he, and archetype next she. It's basically just you know, just you know, like mannequins, adjustable mannequins, that have some, like, it's more focused on like musculature and I mean, not all the anatomy, okay. There's no nipples and no dick or vulva, okay, so that would be bad because we wouldn't be able to do that on stream if that were the case. I don't need to be able to draw that. Female clocker. I mean, not a clanker, okay? Okay, let me get the desk cam. Oh, I need to stop being lazy. I have not read all of these essays. And James Baldwin's been popping up on my feed lately. I've read several of his essays. I also need to get some. I also need to read through his novels. His writing's more relevant today than I think it's ever been. About all the bullshit that's going on. I've always liked his writing style, and I also like his speaking style. But his speaking style is like directly derived from his writing style. I really like his energy. It's definitely like a style from a different era. Like, it's more like kind of it was very like kind of out there at the time, but it's like still more like formal. Which honestly, even though it's like, I would consider it more formal writing, like it's something that you would hear like somebody quoting a novel or quoting like an essay, like in a college course or something. It has like that kind of vibe. I don't know. It's just it's a different time. Okay. Get my phone out of there so you guys don't want to get doxxed. Okay, so it turned off my monitor. All right, let's go. The monitor didn't turn back on. Now both monitors turned off. Do you prefer nonfiction? I really like essays because they're more like kind of culturally and politically relevant, but I also like fiction. I like fiction a lot. I am a fiction writer myself. I've written a lot of drafts. I just haven't directly published most of those. Which is kind of also another thing I want to work on while I'm living in my new when I get moved out. I want to develop an actual writing publishing cycle where I am publishing in my Medium and my I have it's not a Substack. I have a Substack, but I haven't published to my Substack or my Medium yet. And so I want to be able to do that on a consistent basis. because a lot of the times, this is what we're working on yesterday. So I know it's like not like it's terrible. By the way, I think I need to move the webcam back. It's really kind of frustrating me that I moved the webcam on the main screen. Let's just move it over here. So I think I can probably make it a bit smaller too. Maybe put it up there. No, I think... I don't know, I think just making it smaller is probably... No, because that's going to bleed over. Yeah. I think I usually like to have it in the middle here, so let me just adjust the source here. Yeah, I think that's fine. Yeah, I usually like to have it like in the middle here. Okay. Draw a cat with a bow tie? Demanding isn't a good look. What do you mean, demanding? Affirm my gender now! I affirm your gender, Momo. Or Mom Chill. Mom Chillin. Bing Chilling. Yeah, okay, so we got like a math equation here. Trans plus demanding plus intensity equals 0. That's basically what Neo said. Yeah, don't be so demanding. I think that person is just chilling, trolling. Please affirm my gender. You are a trans woman. I affirm it. Now calm down. I am trans and I need you to affirm me, please. You're okay, Mom Chill. Mom Chillin'. Calm down, bro. Part of what I've learned being a woman is that there's like a strength in like the idea of like the silent sentinel, right? Like the idea of being the strength of womanhood is that you're not loud. You're not, but you're like not quiet. Like you're sitting and you're observing, and you're waiting to. You're aware of the people who are going to hurt you, and aware of the people who are going to bring you down, and you store that information. And you don't. If you act on it right away, people will use their strength against you to tear you down. And you have to like have the right moment. Yeah, you have to pick your battles. I know it sucks. I wish it wasn't that way, but I honestly, even before I started living as a woman, I've experienced this problem with men my entire life. Is men tend to exert their power over people. If there's an imbalance, they see themselves as better than you. They see themselves as they're more like, oh, I'm more respected in the community, so who's going to listen to you? Who's going to care what you have to say? I'm a highly respected member of the community. Those kind of men, if you lash out at them, they will destroy you. And it has affected me deeply in a negative way my entire life. When I started transitioning and as I lived as a woman, and I kind of learned there's a strength in biding your time. There's a strength in being able to choose your battles. Like, men who have this kind of power fall apart when you have evidence. They fall apart when they can't back up, when they can't just bark at you anymore, right? When you have like support behind you, you have like collected evidence. Unfortunately, whenever you lose your emotional control, that's when those men have like the highest power. But if you collect enough support behind you, losing emotional control will not be enough for them anymore, because people will know what's going on, and these men will fall apart because what used to work for them is just pumping out their chest, barking at people, saying, I'm a respected member of the community. Who's going to care about her? She's crazy. She's crazy. Look at her. She's going to the mental hospital. She's crazy. Like, who do you think put me in the mental hospital, bro? Who do you think put me in the mental hospital? Like, yeah, you know what I'm talking about? Sorry, I'm kind of like, kind of, what's the word? Kind of projecting here. Maybe not now that you explained yourself. You think women should be louder? I think women should be louder, but we need to like be collective. And I think that's what's been going on and then more women have been like talking to each other and like trying to understand, you know, what kind of men and women, but usually it's men, but there's also women who stand behind these types of men, right? There are plenty of women that support these types of men, and they're basically the same. They act the same way. There's people out there who use their social status, who use their career status, who use their economic status, who use oh, well, I bought you a house, I bought you a car. Like, why are you speaking up to me? Like, why, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? They always do this thing where they put their hands up and they're like, what did I do wrong? I bought you all these nice things. Why are you treating me like crazy? See, she's like out of control, officer. I have been nothing but nice. I have been nothing but kind. I bought her all these things. I've been paying rent. She's just yelling at me for no reason. And it's like, the cops come enough times and they start to see the pattern. Especially when you only act that way around that particular man. And in response to that man's actions, like you kind of put two and two together, right? But unfortunately, if people don't have that track record, if people don't have that evidence, then he has all the power. He has everything, and you have nothing. And now you're in the mental hospital. Now you have nobody behind you. People only see what they want to see. People only see like, oh, well, you know, but he has like this, like, you know, really high job position. He's a really well respected in the community. I don't think he hits his wife. That's not him. That's not him. It's always him. Yeah. Anyway, I got a little bit triggered. So I'm sorry for bringing the negativity into the chat, but winning an argument is just about being loud. Haven't you heard? If I can talk at a higher volume, your points don't matter. Yeah, and that's the problem with these types of people. Is they usually just want to terrorize people by raising their volume of their voice, and you stop them immediately when you call them out on it. When you say like, are you raising your voice at me? Like, are you threatening me? Are you gonna hurt me? Because they're afraid, because they have no power as soon as the cops show up. That's why you have to bide your time to protect yourself from these types of men. They rely on you being quote unquote out of control so that they can call the cops on you while you're having a meltdown. And then what they will do is they will trigger you and they keep poking at you. They keep poking at you and poking at you and poking at you until you can't control yourself. And then they're like, look, she's out of control. She's crazy, officer. Look at her. She needs help. It's such gaslighting. And it drives you crazy because the more they gaslight you, the more it makes you angry. And unfortunately, you know, this affects men too. If they get too angry, they also burn. But these types of people, these types of men, they have been able to learn how to be just violent enough to not get in trouble. Like they know how to threaten without hitting. Right? They know how to hurt you without touching you. These types of men, they are masters of this. And then you end up hurting yourself. And then, you know, like, especially if you have like an autism issue like I do, I've had men in my life who drive me to the point of screaming. And then the cops show up and that's all the cops see. After about 10 or 15 or 20 times, the cops actually started seeing the picture, and now there's no problems anymore. But I had to suffer a lot for that to happen. I had to be sent to the mental hospital so many times. Because people who want to hurt you, they know what to do when you get to certain emotional states. To get what they want. They want you locked up. They want you put away. It makes them look better. Anyway, enough about that kind of really depressing topic. Yeah, let's get some pencils. Okay. And let's get my mechanical pencil. Oh, that's a roller ball. That's a gel pen, actually. Yeah, there's my mechanical pencil. Okay. Yeah, let's get started. Sorry, I got really distracted by that topic. It's just it's a really huge point of problems in my life. Okay, so basically I want to start something, because like my last drawings, it's always been like just kind of exploratory marks that are more just like kind of they're almost like skeletal or like insect-like or like flames, but it's because I'm not really creating enough like anchor points. Hey, what's up, Dragon Ball Z? Welcome back, my friend. I'm glad you made it. I'm glad you made it back to the stream. How you doing? Yeah, we're going Super Saiyan. Let's go. Okay, so let's start with a cone to express direction. Let's do something that faces like kind of it points the direction. Like there's a general direction here. Now let's just kind of make like some kind of container shape. Like this is going to be the biggest object. Yeah, kind of goes off the page a little bit. Have like multiple different vectors and such like that. Okay, and then now here's something that I haven't really been doing. I'm gonna create a horizon line, and let's do it at a slight. Should I do it straight, or should I do it at a slight angle? Yeah, let's make a horizon line, kind of at a slight slope here. Yeah. Now we have a horizon line, and then I need to do some. Let's do some perspective marks. Okay. Yeah, to create some 3D space here. This is the furthest here. Let's draw. Draw a sphere here. Draw a slightly bigger sphere here. And the lighting is kind of going in this direction. And then draw an even bigger sphere over here in the foreground. Let's switch over to regular pencils now. Okay. Okay, yeah, now we got like kind of a layout of the 3D space here. So now I need to think about what I really want to make here. I'm trying to go through a new algorithm for my drawing. I have been just making like random marks, but I want to kind of add just little teeny tiny steps into my method. Otherwise I get more stuff like this. It's just kind of abstract and kind of randomness. Which is okay because it's exploratory and it is building up spatial awareness. But how about let's like try to create like, we have one object, one bigger object. Let's try to like connect these objects. Let's make let's make some cubes here as like a kind of bigger object with it, and then connect some cones to it. Yeah, so just do a cone right here. And oh yeah, let's make this a cone. There we go. And then this is like, yeah. Now we got something that's like part of this. There's like some kind of object here. It's connected somehow to this. And then this is like something else that's connected. How about we just yeah, we got something in here in 3D space. This is all the way in the foreground. This is all the way in the back. This is the furthest point. And this is behind the furthest point. So, this is the furthest point on the horizon. But this is like completely in the background here. This is like the, you know, far away background back there. Can you shout out my sister, Cheeseburger Boogers? Cheeseburger Boogers? That sounds nasty, bro. Aw, that's nasty. It hurts. It burns. Aw, that's it. You're letting the stank out. Peter. Oh, Quagmire, that's nasty. She's gonna be doing unboxings? Unboxing cheeseburgers? Oh, Leario! Welcome back. I haven't seen you in quite some time, my friend. How are you doing? Can you shout out? Just yell? Yeah, let's see kind of like how this object fits. Because a lot of times I just do like line, 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 line. Instead, I should be like doing line, make a decision, react, like adjust, think, create next line. Like I kind of want to go through like a new, I'm testing out like a new sort of algorithm where before I make marks on the page, I kind of like step back and kind of think like, what does this need next? And I might not be perfect, I might not really know what I need, but like I want to build that that new algorithm for myself. Unboxing cheeseburgers. Cheeseburger boogers. Katamari damashi. It's almost like it's like a whale or a shark. It's almost like it could be a spaceship or something like that. Like, we've established like a depth of field here. Alien manta ray? Yeah, I mean, it could be. Yeah, mostly just also like sketching, so feeling it out. I try not to use the eraser. I'm like going through a period right now where it's like I want to focus more on getting stuff on the page, not really focusing so much on cleaning things up. I'm not quite there yet. Good evening, Jamie Turd Pencil. Ew, I need to change pencils now. I haven't used these in a while. I forgot how fun they are. There's a little bug on the paper. Yeah, I don't know. It's just something about like the grip is also kind of. I kind of like just the pencil recently, like not using the grips. Like just like feeling the wood pencil, giggity. You tried watercoloring? Yeah, we've done watercolor. I'm mostly trying to focus on more, my foundation is mostly on pencil and ballpoint. And everything is building from that. So a lot of the times I'll end up, a lot of the times I'll just end up mostly focusing on these as a foundation. Because I know that in order to improve at watercoloring or acrylics, which are going to be the vast majority of my painting, it's going to be watercolors and acrylics, some pastels. Like we've done pastels before. Like I got charcoal and pastels too. I had to put rubber bands on this because it all fell out and I had to pick them up. I got some oil pastels and I got some soft pastels. These are super cheap, so I'm probably going to go through these a lot when I start focusing on pastels. But they're cheap enough that it's like, you know, I can just get a bunch of them. But I only have one set right now. With acrylic, I do need, when I actually start working on acrylic, which will probably mainly be when I move into my new living situation. I'm just going to call it apartment just to simplify things. I don't know if it's not going to be an actual apartment. It's going to be like a room in a house. But for all intents and purposes, it's going to be like my own apartment. So when I move into my apartment, I guess like generally like the term apartments used to mean like just like a room. It's not like an apartment building. Those are just kind of more affordable apartments. But like, I think in the old school definition of the word apartments, like people said apartments when they meant like a section of a house that they had access to because they were paying for it or had access to it somehow. So anyway, like when I have my apartment, when I move into my apartment, I need to say that more so that I can actually accept that it's really going to happen. Because I've never had that I've never been able to say that before in my life. I've never been able to have my own place in my entire life. It's always been somebody like giving me a place to live. And in this situation, I'm on the lease, but this is a very suboptimal, extremely suboptimal situation. Now, it's not as bad as when I was in the homeless shelters or couch surfing, but it's pretty bad. And my life is deteriorating the longer I'm here. So basically, when I move into my apartments, I want to start setting up acrylic paints. I need to get a bulk bottle of the primary colors. So red, blue, and yellow. And white, really. And I think, because you can get acrylic, when you get an acrylic color set, you can get a whole bunch of like mid-tone colors. But with red, blue, and yellow, I can make like a whole giant color wheel, and white to lighten things. With red, blue, and yellow, you make like a brown, and you can make combinations of colors. There's a lot I could do with red, blue, and yellow, and white. I think there's and a purple. Yeah, you have to get like a good purple, but you can make purple with like red and blue. So it's like, I would have to mix the colors every session. That would be good. That'd be a good way to, like, it's almost like meditative, right? Like we would start the stream with me. Well, first I would start the stream doing my makeup to record my makeup content. Then we would just chat, like, and we'd just be like hanging out. I'd be talking to you guys and interacting and all that kind of stuff. But also like, I think it would also be good to then, like, before I start painting, maybe we could do some light sketches just to get started for the painting session. And then when we start painting, we start off with mixing the colors. We figure out what colors we're going to use. So we always start with the same primary colors, put it on my palette, and then, get the brushes ready and like which brushes we're going to use. Like, let's plan it out, right? Like actually plan what I'm going to be doing before I even touch the canvas or the, very thick paper or whatever I do. I'm going to figure out how to affordably do acrylic painting streams. Acrylic painting and watercolor painting take a little bit more preparation than just getting a pencil and paper. You didn't hijack my chat. That's what I have, a room with tiny kitchen. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to have something that's going to be really good. Even if it's just a room and I have to like share a kitchen space and like a bathroom, hopefully I get my own bathroom, fingers crossed. Even if I don't get, even if I have to share kitchen space, there's a lot, I mean, I would have to get like, permission, but I could probably set up like a little kitchenette area in my room. If I do it properly. This will be part of the organizing. I'm probably going to do this all off stream. I don't necessarily want to do a lot of stuff publicly until I have things situated, but it would be nice to do, like, when I move into the new apartment, I could do some basically like just some streams where I put the camera around and we try to figure out like together like how I'm going to organize things, what my cleaning schedule is going to look like. Like I can use the stream and hold myself accountable by streaming, because this is what I do. I stream. It doesn't matter about whether or not it's a career thing or not. I just stream in order to function. So I understand how to keep things like private and stuff. So there's a lot of stuff I will share on stream, but there's still even more, there's things I will never share with stream. And I try to keep things like, if I'm on stream, I know I'm public. So it's like, I do create a system where I can kind of, keep myself separate from my personal life, separate from the stream persona. But basically, I want to have a situation where when I get the initial setup right, like, because when I'm first moving in, it's going to be completely private. I need to completely orient myself to the room and all that kind of stuff. But then what I'm going to do is we're going to start doing some streams where I kind of get like, I put like the camera on a tripod and bring it around, and we like just like kind of set some things up, like where am I going to put like a bookshelf, or like all stuff like that. We're going to be doing some organizing, and I want to build systems. And in order to do that, having the camera on and the microphone on, and I'll wear my lav mic set up and all that for like, the more IRL stream setup, right? Which I already have. The cool thing is I already have like a backpack set up too. So eventually we could even find places that have strong connections to do some backpack IRL streams. I want to be very careful about that though, because I'm going to be in public. So I'm going to that's probably not going to happen for quite some time. But I have the setup and I know how to do it now. I have the setup. But potentially I could even get a better setup by then. Save up some money for a really good backpack setup with like some kind of cooling system, or even get like a laptop setup with like to basically stream from like load OBS, and actually have like a very powerful like live stream setup. I don't know, there's all sorts of things we can do. Share rooms in Brooklyn, Dallas, and LA. Yeah, I don't know exactly where I'm gonna move. They've expanded their search all over the Bay Area, and like basically like I don't want to say exactly where I'm gonna move, but like there's places I'm gonna move. I don't want to dox myself, but also obviously if I'm gonna be doing IRL streams, I'm gonna be out in public, so it's like there's gonna be like places where that are out in public. So I kind of have to like slowly ease into the IRL portion of my stream. But at the very least, we can stream from my, private room. And I'll be able to figure out on camera, documenting live, like how I'm going to organize my space. And it's more than just organizing and keeping things clean, because it has to be functional. I have to actually be able to live in that setup without having it fall apart. That's the biggest challenge. Because it's one thing because right now I have a situation where if I really put my mind to it, I can clean. But every time I clean, it just ends up falling apart. And I need to be able to actually live in that setup. With more space, even a small amount of improvement would go a long way, because right now I'm in a closet basically. So having even the most modest increase in three-dimensional space would immensely improve my quality of life. Like, I don't think people get greedy about like they need a bigger house, they need bigger more expensive car. Like, no, I really don't require much out of life. I just need like a small bedroom. And, there's a whole world out there to go out and play in. I don't have to live in my room. But unfortunately, your room is like required to like recover and rest. You can't always be out in public. Especially me, I have a really hard time being out in public. It drains me really fast. A lot of that is because of my long-term stress from this living situation though. So if I were to fix that, then maybe I can actually, ironically, spend less time at home, even though I'm going to have, because that's my home base. When you have a really like organized, clean space to return to, ironically, I think I could actually leave more often. Like, go to the library, go out for walks more, and like go out and like spend time out in the world. Because I'll know that when I get home, it's going to be my home base. It's going to be my private sanctuary. That's very important. But right now, as things are, even though this is a suboptimal situation, I end up staying here way more often because it's kind of like I hibernate. It's a weird psychological thing that I don't really expect people to understand. It might even make people mad. I mean, you'd be surprised how many people get angry about hearing me talk about stuff like this, but keep telling yourself all positive feelings. Yeah, I mean, it's not just about positive feelings, it's about visualizing things that can actually be true. So I think just like thinking positively has its limits. And I think most of the time you have to ground positivity in realistic outcomes. However, my version of realistic outcomes might actually be limited because I don't have the full spectrum of awareness that, like, a lot of the times I'm delusional in a weird way where I keep feeling like I'm a failure when all the evidence points to the opposite. And I have to be continually, be continually reminded by people on my clinical team that I am not a loser, I am not a failure. Yeah, your nervous system and brain doesn't know the difference between something that's, I kind of understand what you're getting at. Like, if you kind of just like keep telling yourself positive feelings, your nervous system and brain doesn't know the difference. But the thing is, if you're telling yourself things that aren't grounded in reality, eventually that breaks because you kind of know too much, right? Like, I could think, oh, I have $1 million. I have $1 million. I have $1 million. It doesn't make $1 million true. So it like your brain catches up to it. Like, to an extent, you can kind of fool yourself into having like positive feelings, but at some point, reality is going to hit you, and you're going to be right where you started. So I try to ground myself in objective reality the best I can. Which I know might shock some of my viewers, but people are convinced that I'm delusional. People are convinced that I'm somehow mentally broken. I am broken in a certain way, but like not in the way that they think. I don't know why. It's just people are convinced that I'm an absolute waste of space. I'm like one of the most positive people out there, and a lot of people are inspired by me. When I meet people, they remind me how powerful I am and that I'm a very like important part of their life, and that I'm a very important member of society. For some reason, people are convinced that I'm like a loser. Like a loser doesn't constantly try to improve their life. A loser doesn't make changes and like do things to improve. That's all I do. I constantly look for ways to improve my situation, improve my life, and that's why I'm getting that's why I'm getting that housing support in the first place. Yeah, hate equals jealousy. I think it's a little bit more complicated than that, but it's not worth getting into right now. Keep going and it will work. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I've been doing. I'm nowhere near. I'm so much further along than I was 6 years ago. Like, just the surgery by itself, which is, you know, it's not in isolation. Like, the fact that I was able to get to the surgery has so many implications. There are so many things that need to have been true for me to have had that happen. It wasn't just a matter of getting a surgery. It was like I had to fundamentally change who I was as a person, in the sense of being able to follow through with difficult things in order to create healthy habits, in order to change my body, I had to change my mind. I had to become stronger. I had to become the person who was capable of going through it. So it was more than just a surgery. Like, it was almost like I was performing a surgery on my life. And now that I'm on the other side of it, I have a couple of things that are still lagging behind. But, you know, it's just, it really pains me that nothing I do will change my living situation. I have to wait for an external resource to do that. That's because I am very self-reliant. It hurts me a lot when I have to give up my own agency to someone else. I want to be able to say, what can I do to improve this? But it's gotten to the point where literally nothing I do will make this happen. They will make it happen. These agencies that know what they're doing, they have done it for like millions of people. I don't know about millions, but they have done it for a very large amount of people. This is literally their entire job, is to find people like me permanent living situations, or at least like semi-permanent living situations, to improve their lives and not let their disability define them. Because a lot of the times I think that people like me get like kind of discarded by society. And so I was able to pull everything together and get these resources started, you know, to actually work with me. And it's been a very difficult process, and it's also really difficult. I know it's really hard for people to believe this, but it's really difficult to accept handouts. Like, it's really difficult to accept handouts. People don't always understand this. Hey, Raven. People mostly don't understand this. They think that people like me just want to accept handouts, that we just want to, you know, leech off of everybody. It's one of the worst feelings in the world, is feeling like you have to leech off of somebody else. And I hate it. But in order to get stronger, I need to get help first. You know, it's not going to happen overnight. Hey, what's up, Emily? Welcome back. Majority are so stupid and pride themselves on ignorance. Yeah, I mean, that's a problem, but I have to think about it this way. They're going to be left in the dust. Going to be left in the dust. They're going to be left in the dust in my dust trail. Like, as soon as things start getting pumping in my life, all of those people who were ignorant and stupid and who thought that I was a failure, those people are still going to be where they're at, and I'm going to be way ahead. Way ahead. Because I've been building something. You know, it's storing away all those nuts for winter, like the busy squirrel, right? Or the chipmunk, or whatever. The busy squirrel saving up all the nuts for winter. Oh, I hope you like Emily. That's another thing that I can't really work on until I have my new apartment. So I want to be able to make the content that I want to make. I want to be able to grow my career. You know, it's more than just money, but like money is you know, makes the world go round, right? So, you know, I need to build something, and I have plenty of time, but like I don't want to sit around and wait. Okay, which is what things feel like right now. And even right now, I'm not sitting around and waiting. I've been uploading YouTube shorts like every day. I've been streaming like multiple times a week. Like I'm streaming right now. I'm getting new viewers. I'm getting new subscribers. I think we're approaching 1,300 subscribers right now on YouTube. In December, I think I only had 800 subscribers. So like, I'm making some progress even when I'm sitting still. You guys understand like how powerful I am? Like even when I'm in the absolute worst of the worst kind of situations that I've been in my entire life, even while I'm waiting for resources to get me out, which has been very slow, and I have made extreme progress over these past 6 years. So even while I was lifting myself out of hell, I'm still showing up and doing things. It's just, you have to look at the big picture here. I need to respect myself. What kind of person does this? A successful person. You don't see unsuccessful people constantly trying. You don't see unsuccessful people constantly trying to do something. They just kind of get complacent in their situation. They might have a pretty decent situation. I'm not saying that, I'm not hating on them, but I'm just kind of looking at like the reality. People who succeed, the one thing that they all have in common is that they keep showing up and pushing. And that's the thing that I do the most. Yeah, thanks for stopping by, Jamie Turd Pencil. I really appreciate you. It's really hard for somebody who is looking for who has a very like narrow vision of what success looks like. Those people looking at my life like from the outside, those kind of people, if they only looked at what they see, they're going to think I'm a loser. Because in their mind, because I don't have an established career, because I'm not making a certain amount of money, because I'm relying on government assistance, they see a failure. But the difference is that when things actually start working out, they're going to be left in the dust. And then they're going to be trying to justify further and further, doing more and more mental gymnastics, trying to justify why I'm a loser. But they're the loser. They're the ones who have such a strict, rigid definition of success. They only see extremely short-term factors, and you know, they don't see long-term trajectory. They don't look at what actually makes somebody successful. It's not just money. It's not just social status. It's not just like whether or not you're in a relationship. Like, these people have such a rigid definition of what success is that if you don't match it, they think that you're a loser. And then when I start getting some of those successes, like if I start building my career, making a lot more money, getting more independence for myself, being a badass bitch, like starting a business, which is an eventual goal of mine. I want to be able to monetize, build my career outside of content creation as well. Like, I want to own a business. I talked to you about Mjolnir. I want to build my own hardware that runs a dedicated workspace for people who want to get shit done. It's becoming a more and more of a niche. There's some companies that are almost there. It's just like, look at Astro House, for example. They make the FreeWrite devices. They're way too expensive. It's an issue, and it's too proprietary. It's like, you know, like that you can't repair it yourself because they don't like, they're not hot swappable. If you work on it yourself, you can completely destroy it, and then that's like $400 to $800 down the drain. You have to use them to repair it. Like it's just kind of frustrating. Like free write is it, but they're capitalizing on an emerging market that is very like it's a real niche. Hey, what's up, Blakense? How you doing? I think needing government assistance at a time when your country's economy is tanked and wages haven't risen to match it, that's not failure, that's just the state of the economy. Yeah, it has nothing to do with me. I'm just utilizing resources that I need, especially since I have a developmental disorder. That makes it even harder for me to succeed, but I need more help. But that makes me successful, so, you know, successful people don't utilize their, unsuccessful people refuse to accept help. They don't utilize all their resources. I do, because I don't have an ego about it. I mean, I'm trying to get rid of the ego about it, because there's an ego that tries to protect you, that says like, oh, well, you're not really successful if you needed help with it. It's really like kind of like it really needs to disappear. It's a really outdated mindset that I need to get rid of. But basically, yeah, Jamie Turd Pencil. It's one of my viewers. I just like how I say it so nonchalant. Oh, thank you, Jamie Turd Pencil. Like it's like a normal name, right? It is a normal name. I think one of the biggest niches that has been popping up more and more in today's more technologically advanced dopamine, you know, crack house of our society that's going on right now, where you have a phone that is not just a phone, it's a gaming system, it's a social media, you know, like access portal. It's like a calendar, it's a calculator, it's like everything. People, especially younger people, are starting to get more interested in things like typewriters. And the reason why, I'm using typewriters as an example because I'm a writer. I actually own a typewriter. So I have a Royal Quiet Deluxe. This is a portable manual typewriter, and I say portable in the sense that you can put it in a suitcase, a special suitcase, and carry it. Doesn't necessarily mean it's like portable. Like, probably don't want to bring this on the bus. Let's see. And I'll have to do some maintenance when I start using this thing again. Yeah, I got a portable manual typewriter. It's a Royal Quiet Deluxe from 1948. You know, you see the beautiful Royal logo, all American. This was made in a time when American-made products were extremely resilient and robust. Royal is an American typewriter company. You know, like this is quality. It's from 1948. Okay. And people, a lot more younger people, you know, like Gen Alpha and stuff. Hey, what's up, Jason, the art kid? Can you make it do the ding? I put a sponge inside of the bell to get rid of the ding. Jason paints the stream. Jason paints the stream. Jason paints the stream. Jason. You come into my chat and you paint the stream, Jason. Jason. Wait. Jason. Those who know. You lose connection on the subway? Well, that sucks. No, here's the thing. is there's a growing niche of dedicated hardware that does one thing and one thing well. Now what we have right now is we do have a couple of products that have been popping up. They have been extremely expensive because it's a burgeoning industry, which is really weird because it's like basically it's a resurgence of single-minded hardware, but with modern day advances. And it's a very niche category of hardware. So like what we have right now, you have things like what is it? The OneNote? No, there's like basically drawing tablets. Oh, not drawing, like note-taking tablets. What's the one that everyone uses? Is it called the Evernote? I forgot what it was called. It's called it's really expensive, but it's basically a notebook. And you write in it, like handwriting, and it archives it and such. It does one thing and one thing well. It's able to be basically like paper, like, we're using printer paper, but digitally. And it'll back those up to a cloud and all that. And FreeWrite by Astro House does the same thing, but with typing. It's word processing. So you type it, and it automatically loads it up into the cloud. It automatically does it, but like you can manually do it to yourself. You can have it email it to yourself, etc., etc. But they're too expensive. So what I want to do is I want to make an all-in-one, like kind of like everyday like work environment. Like for most people, they don't need extremely advanced hardware to get their job done. I want to make a work optimized device that does one thing and one thing well. I know that like the Chromebook is a thing, but I basically want to make an improvement on the Chromebook. I want to first of all, I'm designing a software that specifically integrates with AI to improve workflow of working with massive amounts of texts, and text that requires extreme like care in remembering what things are where. So like it's a token system, and you can set like preset queries and like connections in like a mind map between nodes or tokens of like, you basically set bookmarks of different sections of the text, and like this paragraph, but it maps it into a block, and then that is saved no matter what happens with revision, no matter where it moves, whether you delete it, whatever, it keeps it on record, and you connect it to as many different other nodes as you can, as you need, and you can even tie that into an AI query, so that you can work with things not just with like line numbers, like, it's going to work in conjunction with Git or potentially GitHub, but it's going to use Git for version tracking and all that kind of stuff, right? So it's going to use Git for that, and basically it's a workflow for working with massive amounts of text that requires extreme precision to save thousands of hours of work. When you need to cross-reference everything, when you update a text, like a big giant document or a series of documents, like a textbook or legal documents, or like any kind of like technical documents, right? Or a novel, anything that's extremely large. I'm talking like 400,000 words, right? Making like bookmarks is one thing. It's like bookmarks with like 10 extra like levels above it. Being able to work with that large amounts of text in an effective environment, but I want to design an operating system around it. And I want to package it with hardware that basically, if you run a business, you could supply your employees with extremely cheap hardware that does one thing and does one thing well. It works with text, like at an advanced level. Like, it's not just a word processor, right? But it's basically just a word processor. And then you can, it can upload, you know, like, and, you know, obviously connect with like email and such like that, right? So like, I basically don't want it to be like what a lot of operating systems are, you know, which has the most appeal, which is why this is kind of an uphill business idea. But I do want to eventually run that business. AI, well, AI is the future, Shorts, and you gotta work with it, not against it. AI is really good at project management. It's revolutionizing the ability to work with extremely large amounts of text. Imagine how many thousands of hours you can save if you can just run a single AI query to see if I make this change in this next version, what is affected by it. Because and it doesn't have to run a fuzzy search throughout the whole document. You can create like your own tracking system. And I have a tagging system that is extremely robust and extremely like AI proof. Like it, book miles, book kilometers. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard for people who are disgusted by AI to get behind this, but I think that's going to change eventually. I think the AI scare is what we make it. And if we adapt to adjust what we do to strengthen what makes humans strong, and use AI to save us all the bullshit that takes away from that. So like anything that makes it harder to do what we do best, if it can be delegated to AI, then that gives us more room to be humans, right? So that's my philosophy about AI. I know people have strong opinions about it, and you're welcome to that, Shorts987, but I know you've been here for a while, so welcome back. I'm sorry if I just like made you unfollow me because you don't like AI, but I encourage you to really keep an open mind, especially as time goes on, because AI is not going anywhere. And I feel like a lot of people have a knee-jerk emotional response, and I they're justified by it. I have a kind of gross opinion about AI as well. I don't necessarily think AI is really something that is pleasant to think about. It can cause a lot of issues in society if it's not handled right. And I'm pretty scared. But there's nothing I can do about it, because all these big giant corporations, they make all the decisions. Okay, they run the world. And you just kind of have to go with it. Like the fact that we're on YouTube talking to each other right now, that's because of, you know, super mega corporations making decisions about how the world runs. YouTube, when it first came out, was not monetized, did not have an discovery algorithm. It was literally just people putting videos up on the internet. But in order to sustain things, it needs to be able to make money. And unfortunately, like, because making money requires a certain type of mindset, there's certain types of people that end up climbing those business ladders. People using AI in a good way, well, here's the thing. That's all up in the air right now. I do think, and I firmly believe, that in the end, the people who take shortcuts are going to fall behind. They might make leaps and bounds in the short term, but I think in the long term, the people who think about like longevity of like humanity, and who focus on workflows that enhance human capability rather than replace it, I think those people will ultimately be the most lucrative. And I think the market will. This is obviously a lot of speculation, I'm more willing to. I can live with myself taking a gamble on humanity. I'm going to put my money on humanity. I don't want to put my money on AI, because that can easily just, you know, I believe in humanity. I know it's kind of a hot take in today's world, but I do think that AI will eventually, the people who are going to rise to the top are the people who think long term about AI and what it can do to enhance your workflow and not replace it. I mean, I don't know about it. This is not making a moral judgment about the people who run these businesses. They come and go. These people are going to be like footnotes in history. I'm thinking like hundreds or thousands of years from now, right? Like what we do now will determine the future of the human species. So people like Elon Musk or Trump, all these people, they're temporary. I'm thinking like thousands of years in the future, right? And I think people like me are going to be the people who ultimately have the most sustainable model, because it survives scrutiny. It's a lot harder to win in the short term, but I think in the long term, you know, I would rather put my bet on things that I can actually look at myself in the mirror and live with myself, right? Even if I make less money. I think that's like a currency that not a lot of people consider. It's a very important currency. Self-respect, having a conscience, being able to protect your soul, if you will. I feel like that's a currency a lot of these people undermine, and they refuse to invest in it. And I think it burns them in the long run. Because if there's a spiritual movement if there's a human spiritual movement that reacts to AI that goes against the capitalist sentiments of today, well, if that changes, then all those people are kind of screwed, because they're counting on the most base levels of humanity to prop them up. And if there is a spiritual movement where people come together, it looks like it already is happening. You see all the people who are upset about AI, hold on to that. That's what's going to protect us. Like, I know people are scared of AI, but look at all the people who are fighting against the most disgusting parts of it. Some people just hate it no matter what. But I think that, like, anybody who is living in reality understands that AI is not going to disappear. So if you can either bury your head in the sand and pretend like you're doing something good, but intentions don't always align with effect. So I want to be one of the people that tries to steer AI towards a better future, instead of just like ignoring it and letting billionaire corporations decide, right? Would you, if you refuse to invest into AI right now, you're basically, I know this is a little bit controversial, what I'm about to say. I'm being a little bit dramatic here, but I do firmly believe that if you choose to do nothing at this moment, in this early stages of AI, you are allowing billionaire corporations to make the decisions and steer the ship. So you need to do your part. If you really want it to not hurt humanity, then you need to do something about it. And I'm doing something about it. I'm trying to, set a precedent of what AI should be. And obviously people are going to abuse it. People abuse alcohol. People abuse nicotine. People abuse all sorts of things. People abuse social media. There's obviously negative things, and I wish I could do something about that, but I'm just trying to survive, and I have business ideas that I feel like are very burgeoning niches in the industry, and if done correctly, I think I can make I think I can make it out like a bandit. But it requires a very deliberate effort, which I'm slowly building. Hey, thank Gobstrat. Yeah, you have a chill night. GNN from Greece. Yeah, good night from Greece, Gobstrat. Yeah, I think having a conscience is only a concern to people who already have one. Yeah, but unfortunately, going around and being like, we just need to love each other. Peace is the only way. Like, Nobody cares about that. We need to actually do something that has an impact. And if you don't kind of like make compromises, like there's nothing we can do about, we can't stop AI. Pandora's box is open. Corporations are always going to own them, but like that's why I feel like it's more important than ever for people to do something, like whatever they can. Boycotting is not enough. For every person who boycotts AI, there's like 300 million people who don't. Okay, do you understand? Like, it doesn't impact the situation. So, but if you use AI and you use it ethically, and however ethically we are able to not undermine humanity, but to enhance it, then I think that sets a precedent and it steers the economy. Like, we need to steer the economy, not them. Like, the only reason corporations have power in the first place is because of the market. And the market is controlled by humans. And so if we collectively decide to change things, they will change it. So that's like more of a spiritual movement. So all this movement of people who are against AI, people who hate AI, who will never work with AI, if they just redirect their energy more towards something that's sustainable and not something that's just like, you know, hippy dippy kind of stuff. Because look at what happened with the you know, the beatniks and the hippie movement, right? Oh, peace and love, bro. Peace and love. Yeah, just smoke some weed. Don't drop bombs, bro. Like that didn't work. So why would you try it again with the AI movement? Right? Why would you do something that you already know doesn't work? That's what I don't understand about people who are angry about AI. We already know that hating it is not going to change it. So instead, you know, you don't have to use it, but you're going to eventually use it against your will because it's becoming such an ingrained part of society. Oh, and thanks for the raid, Jason the Art Kid. Yeah, I didn't even realize. Jason brought 6 viewers here. Thank you. Sorry if I didn't see the raid, but I did respond to your message. Yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, basically I know it's a little controversial, but I think in time people are kind of the sentiment, like the main conversation going on right now is not that, you know, like humans versus AI. That conversation is among the people who know what they're talking about. Like, obviously the general public, there's still plenty of people who just humans versus AI equals bad. Like, there's always going to be like people who are just catching up with the conversation, who are very short-sighted, who are kind of ignorant about it. But among people who are seriously talking about AI, people who have actually know what they're talking about, and it's not even that hard to know what you're talking about, just working with AI in some kind of workflow. If you work with AI in any capacity, you'll start to realize like just how like all those kind of fears that people have, they're kind of like not really there's like, what does it accomplish? Environmental impact? Well, that's eventually going to go away. And also Brandon Sanderson agrees with me. I agree with Brandon Sanderson on this, that when it comes to the environmental impact, well, they're going to make it more and more efficient over time. Okay, like, so, I mean, it might be impactful right now, but as they improve the systems, the system is going to become more and more sustainable. So that, I don't think that's a problem, because people are invested very heavily in making AI sustainable. Right now, it's a little bit fucked up, but honestly, there's so many things impacting the environment that out of everything, I think AI is probably, in the long term, it's the most likely to be solved, because it's like all they have to do is make it more efficient, create alternative ways of, like, you know, running it and such like that. It's like a design issue. It's Like, it is a problem, but it's eventually it's going to smooth out. And I know a lot of people don't like to believe that, but it will. Everything about AI will get better and better and better. And I hate what this statement that so many people in the AI space say. It drives me insane that people say this, but people say this is the worst it's ever gonna be. It's like, no, that's an untrue statement. It's already been worse. Do you understand? Like, it's better than it was yesterday. Like, so that's already wrong. I think I know what they mean when they say that. What they really mean is that it's only gonna get better from here. But like, they say, oh, this is the worst it'll ever be. Like, no, it's already been worse. What are you talking about? It was like the worst when it was first invented in like the 50s, right? like that's just such a stupid statement. I don't know why people are so addicted to that statement. It's like ridiculous. It's only going to get better. You're not going to be able to stop it. And we have to figure out who we are as humanity. It's a spiritual movement. And the people who are against AI have the right idea that humans should always be first. But the execution of that movement matters. Because if we're trying to say, take down AI, well, people have been doing that about, this is why I compared it to like the hippies movement, right? The hippie movement. The hippies were fighting against war and all that in like the 60s and 70s. Okay, so like they didn't really do much. They inspired of like a lot of like art and like a lot of like cultural movements, but like they fundamentally didn't achieve like the government got even stronger. Okay, like why would we continue to do something that's ineffective? It's also what I have an issue with people who are like people who are trying to force people to eat vegan. Most people, I know, I hate to break it to you, but most people are not going to be vegan. It's very inconvenient. It's very expensive. And you don't get all the nutrition you need, and you have to supplement in order to do it correctly. Which means now you're taking supplements that, you know, like I do take a few supplements because I don't eat a ton of meat, so I have to take L-carnitine and vitamin B12. But I just like it. Why do they keep fighting a battle that is losing? I don't get it. They're trying to force people to stop eating meat. That is not going to happen. Like, you are not going to go out and protest and make everyone stop buying meat. That's not going to happen. I compare the anti-AI movement, the AI equals bad movement. That's the same as like, like PETA, right? They just want people to stop eating animals. That's not going to happen. It's a losing battle. I don't know why these people are still doing this. Their focus should be on, like the treatment of animals, which they do. I'm pretty sure. I don't know everything about this particular organization, but farms should be treating animals like humanely. Even though they're not humans, but like they should be treating animals humanely, right? Like that should be the primary focus, because we're gonna eat them. That's not gonna change. And maybe if science can develop non-animal products that sell that are cheaper to make and are comparable or better than the current meat products, that's the only thing that's gonna change that. So they should put their energy into creating alternative meat products that are cheaper to make and taste better, or at least taste comparable to meat. That's the solution. If they really want people to stop eating animals, make a better alternative. Because right now, I mean, it's been getting better in the recent decade. Like, fake meat is still better, but it's still nowhere near real meat. Like, until they actually solve that problem, I don't think people are going to stop eating animals. I think it's stupid. You've been working with AI since 2016. The GPT models we have now are so many million times better than what we had then. Yeah, and it's going to keep improving. And here's the thing. it might have an upper ceiling. We might already be at the upper ceiling. Some people have not considered this. They keep seeing improvements and improvements and improvements. But things usually improve much more rapidly at the beginning, and then it levels out. Nobody actually knows what the ceiling is. It may be nowhere near where we are now, but we might also be very incrementally close to the ceiling. We don't know what the theoretical limit of AI is, because it's never happened before in human history. I'm not going to hope on that. I think it's actually good that it improves, because as it improves, it means what humans can do can improve. And some people are kind of short-sighted, but it's going to get rid of industries that we should never have been in the first place. And it's going to free us up to do what humans do best, what our potential is. And I think that the more we lean into that, the human side of things, it should ultimately be a spiritual movement. What makes us human? What is the point of living? What actually makes us valuable? Those are the questions that AI is forcing us to confront. And things are going to be messy for a while because our system of the world is built on an old model. And I think it's going to be really bumpy, and I hope that I don't get hurt. I hope most people don't get hurt. People are going to get hurt very, very badly from AI. But the consensus right now is not really... The current discussion in the AI space is no longer... Like, people who are having serious discussions about AI are no longer saying AI equals bad as like a talking point. It's how do we make AI less environmentally impactful? How do we utilize AI without undermining the human species? Like, that's basically the conversation now. Like, what limits does it need? Does it need, legal, it definitely needs legislation. So does social media. These big corporations need to be held accountable. And unfortunately, our world governments are usually set up in a way that these corporations have a lot more power than everyday people. But the market adjusts to what consumers are buying. If you watch YouTube at all, you're already contributing to AI. If you watch Twitch, if you watch YouTube, if you use social media at all, if you use your phone, to say that you hate AI, but then comment on a YouTube video, you are already using AI. You just don't know that you are, because YouTube runs on AI. Invisibly. And that's the future of AI. The future of AI is invisibility. Technology working for us instead of us having to wrestle with it. Freeing us up to be more human. That's my philosophy, and I'm going to stick with it. You will not convince me that humanity will fail. If anything, humanity will be stronger than it's ever been. Or new problems will surface, and then we'll have to face those problems, and it will be a spiritual battle. Like the kind of hopeless consumers versus the corporations. A spiritual battle. They're constantly fighting for our attention. The algorithms are feeding us things. Nobody's exempt. And you could either ignore it, which is kind of what people do for the most part, which is just fine, or try to figure out what you can do to improve the situation. If you don't like it, fix it. And I know it's hard for people who aren't like mega billionaires, but I think that collectively we can achieve a lot of things. And I think once we stop knee-jerk reacting to AI, I think we can achieve a lot. Because as soon as you start painting the situation as humans versus AI equals bad, we need to get rid of AI, you've already kind of set yourself into a losing battle, because it's not going anywhere, and it's only going to become more prevalent, not less. And I think the more people come to terms with that, the more we can get started on the real work. And obviously, like I said, there are always going to be people who don't use AI in the way that it should be used. But I also think that those people are going to only shortchange themselves. Because the people in the future who are going to succeed the most are going to be the people who improved their skill set, improved their knowledge, improved their ability so that they can utilize AI more efficiently. Because if everybody has the same power, then everybody's on the same playing field. Which means that the people who it's going to be the human skills that set people apart. Because the tools are going to be able to boost you up, right? But if everybody is boosted up, then it's still going to be the people who rise above that, right? So all the people who have the billions of dollars, people who have the like extreme skills, people like, you know, that's always been the case in humanity. I just think the baseline is going to move up. The barrier of entry is going to be easier or non-existent because anybody with access to an AI model will be able to achieve something they would have never been able to do before. But then think about, you have one person who has access to that who doesn't really know anything about, like, you know, like doesn't have any skills. It's just like they're just sitting there on their phone tapping away. But then there's the people who are like, I'm going to improve myself. I'm going to like exercise. I'm going to get a good diet. I'm going to learn things. I'm going to work with people. Like those people are rising way above the people who are just like, memes. Memes. I'm just going to use AI to like chatbot with my AI girlfriend or my AI boyfriend. Okay, like those people are obviously going to exist. But like, if everybody has access to the same tools, then it's just it's just the baseline is higher. But there's still people who are going to be above the people who are at the bottom. So I want to be a person who's above, right? I don't want to be stuck on the bottom. I've been stuck on the bottom my entire life. I'm going to be one of those people that utilizes this very special time in human history to rise above the disorder and become stronger than I've ever become in my life. And help steer the world into a better place. And I may not succeed, but that's something I want to do in my lifetime, is at least try. And I can start that business and, you know, generate that, you know, create hardware and operating system that is very, like, gets out of the way of humanity. That allows humans to do what they do best. Like, you know, AI operating systems are like a thing that's happening and it's very early. And if you do it right, I think that you can really succeed in this industry. Because I think people are getting all the wrong ideas. I think like Microsoft and such are getting all the wrong ideas about what AI can actually be. I even think that ChatGPT is like somewhere on the right track. But it's also very commercial. And I think it, like, on its own, anything that's on its own, with like a kind of built on this, people are building things on the system that already exists, and they're not thinking outside of the box with what AI can be. And I know some people are, I mean, obviously they are thinking, but I think like people are stuck, and it's going to be quite some time before we figure out what will actually push humanity into the next stage of evolution. And I want to give it a go whenever I can. I need to design the OS first, but before I design the OS, I need to design the standalone app. And before I design the standalone app, I need to design the plugin that can be used like VS Code or like other text, you know, other workspaces, right? So I'm Visual Studio Code. I'm going to create my system as a plugin to do proof of concept. And then once that plugin is working, I'm going to utilize that plugin as a baseline and create a standalone app. And once that standalone app is developed, I want to develop a operating system that is optimized for that app. And when I develop the operating system, I'm going to start making hardware that is optimized for that operating system. It's going to be a Linux-based distro. But basically, that's my long-term vision for Mjolnir. You know, I think it even has that, right? Mjolnir. That's my business. So basically, that's the app. It's not my business, it's the app. But the thing that's going to be proprietary is going to be the hardware. But the hardware is going to be so cheap that it would actually be more expensive for people to pirate it. Like that's the goal, is because obviously people are going to try to steal it. But I want to make it I want to make it more expensive for people to steal it than to just buy it from me. Right? That's my goal. I want to make it so sustainable that it's just so much simpler for people to just buy my product than to try to reverse engineer it or steal it or whatever. Like, just go through official channels to get it. That's my goal. To make the hardware so cheap to produce, so effective, and so like the distribution so streamlined that literally anybody can buy it. I want to make it like paper. My goal is to make technology as cheap to produce as paper. Like paper is like and like pencils, right? I want to make technology into a pencil. I want it to be so cheap and so ubiquitous that we're not constantly derailing our lives focused on the technology. The technology should get out of the way of humans. The AI should get out of the way of humans. Humans should be able to do what humans do best. The way I see it, these models cannot stay private. Everyone doesn't have access to the highest version of these tools. Self-hosting and decentralization is so important. Yeah, I mean, I think that's like the... Whoa, that was kind of spooky. I think that's like where like the like Bitcoin and all that kind of stuff, the blockchain, I think that eventually is what that will turn into. That's my hypothesis. And obviously I'm just some random idiot, so, you know, whatever. I am just some random idiot on the internet, so just take my opinions with that in mind, obviously. But I really do think that, like, the idea, if we combine multiple concepts that already exist right now on their own, are kind of broken and not really working. But if we start working together and changing how we see things collectively, and stop trying to reinvent the wheel, stop trying to, you're working in a system that is broken. As long as you're working within that system, it's going to be stuck in that system. And in order to change the system, nobody knows how to do that. So that's like kind of what the challenge is right now. But I think one of the first steps is I want to start a business that creates technology that is so affordable, it's like buying pencils. Like a Ticonderoga pencil. This is so mass-produced, so ubiquitous. Printer paper, right? Like printer paper is like so ubiquitous, so simple, so mass-produced. Like, computers should be like that. And some people are saying there's no money in that. Good. It just needs to be sustainable. It doesn't need to make profit. And it will make profit because I'll give people an incentive to buy it. You make something so attractive that people can't ignore it. and you don't need to be making billions of dollars a day, right? Like to sustain a business. It's a really, I mean, this is what everybody's trying to do. They're trying to make something extremely attractive as a product, which lowering the price makes it very attractive. Obviously, if you could just give people things for free, obviously they're going to buy it. But then you can't, you know, you're not making any profit. Obviously. Unless you have a different business model, like licensing fees. So that's another thing. Like my product, if I make the license very affordable and very attractive, more businesses are going to use my product because they're going to be able to, buy my product in bulk for their employees to use. And I want to make a product so good that alternatives are unattractive. And also, when you make a product that is so good that people want it, then people are going to lower the prices to match. If my product is the only one people are using, then products like Meta or Google or Microsoft, they will have to match if they want to be competitive, which I think will completely break the system in a good way. It needs to be sustainable, though. People who are like, fight the system, fight that, like, you want it to break? That's not good. Like, you want it to be ruined? That's not good. What you need is you need it to change so that everybody benefits, or at least most people benefit, as many people as possible. Some things just aren't possible, but we don't know what those are, so we should keep trying to fight for that. Like, what is actually possible? What is actually impossible? We'll never really know what's impossible. But we can always try to see what is possible. And I think it's possible if we truly put our minds to it. I think humanity can survive and thrive. I basically want to eventually make a technology that is so attractive to as many businesses as possible that it would basically be a career. It would be like destroying your business to refuse to use it. That's what I want to do. And I wanted to make it ethically, and I want to make it sustainable and affordable for everyday consumers. But in the end of the day, this product I'm building is mostly for like enterprise. It's mostly for people who run really big projects. And on a personal level, the license is like free, right? But on a business license, I could probably make an affordable licensing. Like, it's not, I mean, licensing is really how you make your money. Like, look at like Microsoft and Apple, right? Microsoft sold as licensing to IBM, and that's how they won. Because IBM didn't think that, didn't really see what was happening with Microsoft Windows, and so they accepted like a deal that basically made Microsoft like millions and billions of dollars. Okay, so because IBM was selling Windows, and they had to pay a fee to Microsoft every time. So that's how IBM failed. IBM tried to create like a big giant, they're like the blue giant, right? They failed. And I think if like if the industry continues to try to do what already failed, even if they might succeed extremely well in the short term, like Apple has, right? I think in the long run, all it takes is somebody to undermine that, to completely upend their business model. Hi, Room. So what are we drawing? Hey, Onward. How you doing? Can you add a secret function where it loops weird AI songs if someone does a specific thing? Nah, I don't do stuff like that on my stream. We kind of just... I set my own environment, and you guys are welcome to be a part of it. But I don't really like people interacting with my stream because it ruins my vibes. And if it ruins my vibes, there's no point in streaming. Like, I don't usually do what my viewers ask me to listen to, etc. Like, I don't let people decide what music to play. Like, I let my own vibes exist. What does existence mean to you? I mean, I think that's the big question, Nothing W. I think that's the big question. What is existence? I think we're still figuring that out. But I don't think existence is being glued to our phones. I mean, I know what existence is not. It's what we all do. We seem to really like it. But I don't think we really do. I don't think that's really where humans belong. I think that is eventually going to die out. I think it's a current... I think it's an industry that needs to evolve in order to survive. And I want to be a part of that. So, long term, during my lifetime, I would like to start my business and build something that can actually change the entire industry. I know it's like kind of ambitious, but at the very least, I want to create my product because I want to use it. I want to use Mjolnir for myself, right? So like at the very least, I want to use Mjolnir. At least I want to develop it into at least a plugin for VS Code, or for some other text editing type text editor, right? It's a text editor with extra, with extreme parsing features. It's not like a completely revolutionary idea. It's just more of the same, but I want to do it in my style. So I want to make my own text editing assistant called Mjolnir, and I want to make it as a plugin, most likely for VS Code. And then I want to make a standalone suite, and then I want to build a Linux-based operating system around it, and then I want to build hardware optimized for it. And then I want to create licensing for businesses and sell a suite of options that a startup, could literally purchase a license with bulk sale of the hardware to basically run their entire business from day one, as if they were an enterprise. I want to be able to empower startups. Not having to pay giant licensing fees, not having to purchase expensive hardware. They should be able to employ a homeless person off the street. Like, if they want, they could hire a homeless person with zero skill, and they buy my product, and they can give the hardware necessary for that person to do their job for like a fraction of the cost of what buying current hardware would be. Because I want my software to be so optimized that it barely requires anything to run. That the hardware required to run it can still be powerful enough as if they had a more expensive hardware. So they can basically supply hardware for their employees, even if their employees don't own a computer, without having to spend a whole bunch of money for licensing and such like that. So that startups are really going to be empowered by my business. You're going to the moon? Well, good luck over there, Jermaine. Humans are slightly smarter apes. I think existence for human is no... Yeah, I mean, basically, you think existence for humans is no different to any other ape. I mean, yeah, we eat, sleep, we poop, we eat. Hopefully not in that order. fuel goes in, plant fuel comes out. Exactly. Yeah, anyway, this is kind of like, that's pretty much like kind of what's been driving me for a while. I've been paying attention to how the world's been going. And I'm like, you know, something that's been going on since I think I was like 2010. I have been wanting to start up this business. So eventually I think I'll actually make it happen. It's the same idea, like at its core, that it was back then, but now I have a lot more knowledge of what the current industry is. Now I understand the direction of, like, you know, now we have AI and such, like, so now my business idea is coming more and more realistic to achieve. I wanted to create a system that is so affordable that you'd be stupid not to use my product. But the problem is creating a product that valuable. So that's like really where the energy needs to go. I need to create a good product. And there are stages, like I mentioned, like I need to make the plugin as a proof of concept. If the plugin does well, then I need to make an optimized standalone app. If the app does well, then it's time to make an optimized OS. And then once the OS is built, then I need to make optimized hardware. The hardware is going to be the hardest part. I mean, it is hardware, right? Hardware is usually where things fail. It's very hard to make a new industry in hardware because the big giants own everything, like Intel, AMD, like Nvidia, and like and then the software is like Microsoft, and like people need an alternative to be able to function as a business or do whatever work they do without relying on existing software. They need to be able to justify using my software, because this breaks if my hardware requires Microsoft or Apple licensing, because that ruins the entire model. It's a really hard problem to solve. Nobody has been able to solve it. Who do you go through to buy your Fent? What the fuck, bro? Watch what you say in here, because things can get very dangerous for you. What the fuck? Oh, you think Microsoft's gonna come to my door? I doubt it. No, the whole essence of my plan does not involve the necessity of proprietary software. I think that's like a really hard problem to solve, because when it comes to hardware, the giants have like a complete like lock and key on it. So I would have to come up with solutions to problems that have never been solved. I basically have to create a product that is more appealing than what already exists, and that people who already are trained on those products are still able to utilize without extra training. But I want to make a product so appealing that they can abandon those. It's spelled coffee. Yeah, I mean, I had guarana. I actually had 2 doses of guarana today, so that's a lot of caffeine. Yeah, so that's basically my long-term plan. I know it's like I've never really talked about this before, but I'm starting to get a bigger vision of what, like the nuts and bolts. It's going to start with me developing the plugin. That's really where I need to focus my energy. Just get the plugin working. MIT license, you know, or the BSD license, I don't know. Your transition is amazing. Oh, well, thank you, Simon. Yeah, I put a lot of work into myself over these past 6 years. It's really paid off, and I'm about to get some housing. I've worked really hard for that one, and it's about to change. You have a problem that has never been solved. I dislocated my shoulder in my sleep. A product that helps me reset my joints would be awesome. It's called a doctor. You know, even though I'm kind of getting the similar art style that I've been doing, this one seems a little less chaotic because I started with those little construction lines and stuff like that. So it's like, this one seems a little bit more put together than like the previous versions of these kinds of artworks. Like you see, this one is just kind of chaotic. It did have some structure, so compared to things from before, you know, this one is still a little bit less chaotic than the other drawings, but this one seems to have like a lot more structure to it. It seems to be like this might actually exist in 3D space. There's still some problems, but you know, one drawing at a time, right? The doctor? Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. I've been having issues with, see, I solved all my like transition related medical stuff, and I put myself through hell trying to get through all that medical stuff. Now I'm just dealing with long-term like diabetes management, and I have some mental health stuff going on, but it feels a lot different now going to the doctor than it did when I was transitioning, because when I was transitioning, my whole entire existence was centered on working with doctors. I was like really laser focused. It was my entire existence. It was my entire life was making sure that I followed through with doctors and such. Now things feel a lot more loose. You know, like it feels like I'm starting to fall into the same habits of like not really taking my health seriously, which is bad. I think I'll bounce back. It's fine. It's going to start with that living situation. When I move to my apartment, they're working on it. They're looking into options right now as I speak. So it's only a matter of like just waiting through that, and then I'm going to be able to build a healthy habits, build a more sustainable lifestyle, and then who knows how far I'll go. You know, maybe I'll actually be able to start that business. Who knows? Right? But that most likely that's probably not going to happen. I'm going to have to reassess the business plan in 5 years, right? So I think like over the next 5 years, I need to build like a personal life for myself, and I need to establish my own career, like as a model and as a content creator, and invest what I can into my business idea. But I'm not going to be able to fully go all in until that reaches a certain stage. I need to have that standalone app before I can fully, develop a career path for that, a business strategy for that. And it might flop, but at the very least I'll have a product, right? Even if I completely open source it. Which it will. I mean, it's not going to be completely open source. It's going to be MIT license. I want to make, the business models nowadays. Like, yeah, the non-proprietary stuff in the end doesn't make corporations as much money. But it's, for my goals, I think it'll be just fine. There are monetizable plans, especially licensing, like hardware, for example, or using the software in like an enterprise situation. I don't know the full legal jargon of all this. I have looked into it, but I'm nowhere near knowledgeable about this. But that's a problem to solve later. As long as I have a good app, that's really what matters. They make computer keyboards that are like typewriter keys. Yeah, the ding is what is the worst part of typewriters, by the way. I know it's a hot take, but I put a sponge inside of the bell of my typewriter. I didn't know how to remove it without breaking it. Resident Evil final boss. It kind of looks like a Resident Evil final boss. basically, I feel like typewriters are really good. I own a typewriter. I want to use it more, but the ding is the worst part. So I wadded up a sponge and put it inside the belt. So basically, it just works like a it's just you type and then it gets to the end and it stops, and you have to pay attention, obviously. But it's loud enough that it's already loud, right? You don't need a bell telling you that you reached the end of the line. You're gonna know. like come on. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to do what I did, Raven. I just personally put a sponge inside of it. It's a really simple solution. If you don't like the ding, you can roll up a sponge and put it inside. If you like the ding, you don't have to do that. Hi, Magical Princess of Naples. How are you? I hope everything is fine here in Italy. As a gift, I'll leave a Neapolitan pizza emoji. I'm enjoying the live broadcast too much. Well, thank you so much, Pecuniaro Mananumis. I don't know what that means. But welcome. Glad you like the stream. We're just doing some drawing. I've been live for 2 hours. Yeah, I don't know. All in all, a lot of this is just kind of like a pipe dream. I would like to be able to, to start a business eventually. Software and hardware industry, but that's more of a long-term project, and I don't know how far I'm going to get. But mostly, I just want to build my own personal life. I want to build my modeling career. I want to build my content creation career, my acting career, my writing career. I'm probably going to be able to write a lot more when I move into my new apartment. I'm going to have a lot more energy and space to truly explore, like, my creativity. Tube Steak. Pipe Dream, Tube Steak Industries. Wee woo. Welcome back, wee woo. How you doing? Thoughts on Lord of the Rings? It's badass. Okay, Tolkien in general. I am not fully caught up on all the histories, like all the, posthumously published stuff. I've read the Silmarillion. I've read part of Unfinished Tales. I've read the Book of Lost Tales, part 1 and 2. I started the poetry one, the one that was like the Lays of Valyria, or the Bays of whatever it was called, the Bays of Lyria, or whatever it was called, the Lays of Valyria. I have no idea. Valyrian, right? I've read part of that, which is like a retelling of one of the stories in Book of Lost Tales. And there's a lot more histories I haven't read yet. That was only volume 3, and I was only like halfway through volume 3. So Tolkien, amazing work, and it really inspires me to do better for my own writing, because what he did was he created an entire world, an entire universe, really, with its own history, and he spent like he just put time into it, and he really worked on it. He would send letters to his friends about it. Like, that's really inspiring. I want to do that with my work. I have a fictional universe that I've been working on for about 10 years. It's called Tress is the name of the planet, Tress, but it's there's 3 different epochs within the fictional universe, like 3 main epochs, which are the 3 main novel series. There are 3 different series. Each one is in a different epoch. So the first epoch is the Age of Myth and Legends. This is where it all begins. This is where the magic of the universe of that world is established from raw material. It's an age of like it's basically like people who have mutated from a substance that is embedded in the world itself. And then there's a whole story around that with like a god. She's been like completely enslaving the world for like thousands of years at that point. And this one guy is like born with the substance imbued into his DNA, as opposed to most of the people who were already like corrupted by adulthood before they embedded it into themselves. And he was the first who was born with it, and so he becomes the hero who overcomes the challenges that substance. The substance creates like a curse within people, like it makes them mad with power. And there's kind of a, I don't want to give any spoilers because I'm still writing it, but there is a compromise. None of my stories are extremely feel-good endings. They're kind of realistic endings, but satisfying. I feel like I've already written the endings of all 3 of these novels. Like at least I know what the ending has to be. I have the second epoch, which is the one I've worked on the most, called Even Star. And that's a world that has been kind of risen from the ashes of that one thousands of years into the future. And that in that world, it's like it's kind of like a cyberpunk kind of reality that has been also like held back by like basically an immortal dictator who has slowly weaved himself into the entire facets of society, much like that god in the first one did. He's basically doing what she picked up where she left off, but he had to have spend like thousands of years to get to where he is now. And the story starts when he's at a point where if he gets power, he's going to become her again. Like he's going to become a god. And so it's like a turning point in the society there. And so there are the power source has become fragmented and has become like kind of spread into the fringe of humanity. And there's several people who have various alterations, including, one character who is immortal, aside from the old people. Like there's like people who are thousands of years old, the original immortals from that age of Uriel. The first one's called Uriel, like the archangel. Uriel. It's the messenger, right? So it's like Uriel is the messenger of like, in like Hebrew mythology. And I'm pulling themes from various like world religions and world mythologies. So Uriel is like, he's the one that changes everything. And there's an ending that is very satisfying but very bittersweet. And I don't want to get into it too much. But basically, Toli Evenstar and her sister, Kara Evenstar, I don't want to get too much into the details here, but basically, there's a full story involved in character development and such, so it's really weaved intricately, and I don't want to, it'd take too long to explain, because I would basically, you should just wait for the book. And the third one is a third epoch after the, resolution of the Even Star series, which I'm starting all these with just one novel and seeing if it can expand. It has room to expand, but I want to write everything I want to write in those first novels for those, starting with Even Star. Before I go into the prequel, into the first epoch, I want to finish the second epoch. And so once or at least start and finish a novel in the second epoch with a satisfying ending that leaves it open for sequels in that epoch. But if I only write Even Star alone with no sequels, it should stand on its own to satisfyingly tell the story of that epoch. And then the third epoch is basically a more modern world, very militant and exploring space. And they start to do experiments on humans. And so basically they get to a period of time, the magic of the world is already gone. And now humans are starting to experiment to basically create a new magic. And it involves like telekinesis and telepathy, ghost in the machines type stuff. It's basically, they reboot everything. Everything that was lost in the second epoch. Like, for everything in the second epoch is like collecting the scraps of what was lost in the first epoch. By the end of the second epoch, everything is gone. It resets humanity to a blank slate. In the third epoch, people in power are starting to build that power again. And so it's like an infinite circle that humanity can corrupt itself even when everything is gone. And that's the theme. If you pop your knuckles, you will have man hands. That's not true. Greetings from Asmongold, argumentless, ignorant dude. Yeah, I mean, I don't know about Asmongold. He's kind of gone off the realm of humanity. Last book I looked at was A Penthouse. Nice. Look at those tits. Hey, bro, I'm not gonna judge. I'm not gonna judge. You can look at those tits all you want, bro. Anyway. Yeah, cracking your knuckles doesn't... It actually kind of like... it's just air popping. It actually kind of prevents problems. I know people like to say that, like, cracking your knuckles, like, causes problems. It's just because people don't like the noise. That's really what they're complaining about. They just don't want people making noise. Because it bothers them. They're like, oh, but it sounds bad. It doesn't make it bad. Science, bitch. Anyway. What is this, a Seinfeld episode? Big knuckles. Finally caught up. Finally caught you, you elusive animal. Infestomania! Yeah, I've been seeing your comments. A little bit weird, but I'm not gonna judge. It's okay. Welcome, welcome. Glad you made it to the stream, Infest. I better be careful how I say that word. It's a wolf. Inside of all of us, there are two wolves. I don't think it's a wolf. It's actually just kind of abstract, really. But it's more structured than like my previous versions of this kind of style. I'm like a rare spawn Pokemon. True. Like this was my previous drawing. This is today's drawing. I think it has a lot more structure to it. Yeah, I mean, it's similar. Right? Inside of everyone, there are 2 wolves. What does that mean? Yeah, I actually don't know exactly what it means. I think it's like, there's 2 modes we live in, right? You're a lesbian in a straight man's body. Well, go to your doctor if you're concerned about that. Only your doctor can help you with that. I'm sorry. I'm just a random chick on the internet. I like that today's... Yeah, very strong lines. It's a lot more structurally sound, I think. Like, this version of that kind of design is, like, a lot more structurally, like, coherent. Plus, this one's in pencil. That one was in ballpoint. But, I mean, that's not really too meaningful. I'm just, like, kind of exploring, like, how to... Like, what my style is. And I'm kind of stuck in this little period of style. And I'm kind of exploring it and seeing where it leads. You know, seeing how this particular style evolves. And I have a really hard time moving away from this style at the moment, so I'm just gonna, you know, play into it rather than fight it. You know, like, explore what this is. Need a tattoo designed. I've got it 80%, but needs that final 20%. If you want, you can play with it. There's got to be a giggity there somewhere. Surprised you don't have any mods? You would be surprised. I am pretty good at moderating my chat. And I don't have anybody I could trust to do it for me, because I would do it faster than any of them would anyway. I've been moderating my chat for 6 years by myself, okay? Is demon caged behind a mandala? Like geometric patterns? Yeah, I mean, maybe it's a demon inside of me trying to come out. But it comes out through the pencil. Who knows? I mean, people can read into it and psychoanalyze it however they want. I can't stop that, you know? I just be drawing. Like, I'm just showing up and doing some drawing every day. I haven't missed a single day, even if I only drew for like 5 minutes. Like a couple days ago, I only drew for like 5 minutes. But like, I've been drawing like at least 5 minutes, but generally like an hour or 2, possibly 3, every single day for the past like 5 weeks. Come out on me, baby. 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 I'm an alien, and I'm bad. I'm bad. I'm from space, baby, and I'm bad. Suddenly Seymour. You know, sometimes people just suddenly have a boner, and that's okay. I won't judge you for having a boner. It's biology. You are not going to feel shamed here for having an erection. Pitch in a tent with those pants, even when you're wearing tight leather, and I can hear the squeak as it happens. You're welcome here. I will not laugh at you. I will smile. I will potentially caress you, if you so wish it, and give you a hug and say, there. It's okay. You didn't hurt anybody. You're welcome here. Don't be ashamed. Don't be ashamed. Nobody can hurt you here. Nobody can hurt you here with me. You're fine just the way you are. Keep gooning. Keep gooning. Sorry, shirt is not tight enough. Stop! What? Yeah, all the people in my chat that were gonna troll me and hate me, now they're crying. They're like, she gets it. I don't want to hurt anymore. Well, you're not. Don't be. I know I was joking, but I'm also kind of like not joking. So many people get shamed for gooning. It's a natural body function, okay? Like, don't be ashamed of your sexuality. Don't let somebody call you a freak or call you gross or somehow like disgusting just for doing something that God gave you, that you enjoy, that makes you feel good and makes you feel powerful and ready to face your life. You know, I have a very strong philosophy about, you know, mindful self-touch. Okay? Just think about the man hands intense. Well, there's a lot of people in my chat with man hands. Okay, nothing wrong with that. Nice artwork. You like it, Caspian? I think I'm starting to evolve my style a little bit better. Today's was a little bit more structured. This one was just kind of random marks. And this one still kind of is. But I feel like I'm just slowly developing like more and more scaffolding and structure. And eventually I think I can move away from this particular style. But I think I need to explore it for as long as it naturally happens and not fight it. Just kind of let this happen, you know. The insectoid infestation in the mind? Yeah, I mean, kinda. It's kind of like coming out through my subconscious. I think it's like based on like a lot of the stuff that's probably going through a lot of people's minds these days. Everybody's tired. Everybody's scared. And then people are kind of pitted up against each other. It's like a political battle of some sort at all times. It's like rich versus poor. It's left versus right. It's like black versus white. It's like everything is like somebody against somebody else. And it's like, I'm kind of tired of it. Draw Spawn, form the movie. You've been wanting me to draw Spawn for a while. Autistic Helicopter. Stop spinning my world right round like a record, baby. You spin me round. Okay, stop it. Stop it. I don't know what game you're talking about. Are you talking about World of Warcraft, the Burning Crusade? Because I'm not ready to return just yet. We're doing drawing, and I'm really enjoying it. Okay, do you need a battle buddy? Yeah, we're all battle buddies. What are you scared and tired of? If you have to even have me explain, like, I feel like you're trolling. Like, just turn on the news. Like, load up YouTube and look at whatever the algorithm shows you. Everybody's scared and tired, and they don't know how they're gonna make ends meet. They don't know how, like, what purpose they have. Everybody's battling right now, trying to find meaning in their life. And I feel like it's really terrifying, but I think, like, we can get through this. And we're not gonna get through this in an us versus them. They are us. Okay? And unfortunately, I'm kind of in a situation where, you know, I'm a woman in this world, and some people don't even accept me as a woman because they think I'm, you know, like a man, even though I'm not. And it's like a very political, like, caustic environment, and it's really frustrating. But I think eventually we can overcome this, and we can just start being friends again. If not friends, at least we can work together and try to make a better world. And I don't know. I can at least do my part, because I'm doing my part. I'm doing my part. Try to just give like a moment of positivity in this world, focused on myself and improving my life. And there's going to be a lot of people who want to tear people down, and they're going to try to tear me down. But I'm just going to keep getting back up, and I'm just going to keep doing my thing. And eventually I'm going to leave them in the dust, and I'm going to have a better life. I'm already on my way to a new housing situation. And when I get to my new apartment, I think things are going to just start slowly just getting better and better and better in my life. And I think my content's going to improve a lot. And I think I can I'm already slowly building my career. I already have a job as a model. And I'm just going to keep evolving. Microplastic, fantastic. According to you, looks matter or not? I mean, looks matter, but only to you. And what, if something is not where you want it to be, then do something about it. That's what I did. I got facial surgery, and I got like vaginoplasty, and now I have a body I really like looking at and I really like touching. Which is why gooners in my chat are welcome. You're not judged. If anybody judges you, just, you know, like, know that I accept you. Even if other people in my chat might think you're gross or crazy, just know that I don't think you're crazy. I don't think you're disgusting. I don't think there's something wrong with you. I think as long as you're not hurting anybody, you're consenting with your own body, there's nothing shameful about it. There's nothing disgusting about it. You are practicing what God gave you, okay? I know a lot of people are ashamed because people will be disgusted by their basic expression of their sexuality. And I want to fight against that, because I think there's nothing wrong with expressing your sexuality. And I especially if it's by yourself, or with, you know, obviously with consenting adults. Like, obviously if you're doing something with people who aren't consenting, then that's different. But, you know, we're talking about people who are adults, who know how to make decisions on who they want to, you know, spend their body with, whatever, share their body with. There's nothing to be ashamed of. And people are going to make you feel like you're some kind of pervert, like you're disgusting, and I'm going to fight back against that. Because if they have a problem with people in my chat, they have a problem with me. Because I'm a pervert, according to them. I'm a very sexual creature. And I'm like polyamorous. I'm like a sex worker. I'm like an actress who wants to have a career in the porn industry. Okay, like, I think there's nothing to be ashamed of. And I know a lot of people in the chat maybe have had some negative experience with that. And I just want to create a better world where people don't have to feel afraid anymore. Just to be who they are. Whether or not it's like sexual, whether it's just, you know, gender related, whether it's anything. Like somebody is mad that you like Mario Kart. Or that you like playing League of Legends, or that you like World of Warcraft, or that you like a certain movie, or you like to read books, or like you should never be ashamed of what things that bring you joy, or at least give you a little bit of a respite from this fucked up world we live in. Oh, I'm sorry to hear. So okay, come on. So young. I don't know what to feel about that joke, bro. Birthday shout out to Dixie Normus. Okay, stop it with the puns. Okay, come on. You can do better. No, they're sometimes puns are like funny. You don't support porn culture? Yeah, I mean you don't have to. You're welcome here too. But you know, don't hate on people for liking porn. Don't hate on people for making porn, especially. I'm gonna have a problem with that, because I am one of those people that makes it, and I think it's perfectly natural. I think it's perfectly fine and healthy, and I think it's really demeaning, especially to women, because usually when people hate on porn culture, they're shaming women for doing porn and for expressing their sexuality. But we don't need to get into that whole discussion. I think it divides people. But I am not going to pretend that the world is somehow going to decide whether I belong here or not. Like, right? Are you trans? Yeah, I'm a trans woman. That's not at all the argument. I have no idea what you're talking about. What the hell are you guys even on about? What the fuck? Yeah, I don't know. People have a huge problem with people in the industry for some reason, and it's like, dude, haters gonna hate. Like haters gonna hate, okay? And I'm not gonna give into it. I'm not gonna let anybody bring me down. If you do have a problem with me, you can leave. But you know, I'm gonna live my life, and I'm gonna do just fine. I'm gonna succeed, and all those haters are gonna be left in the dust. And I'm gonna be happy. And they're not. They're clearly not. Oh, what the Jeez. I got all this pencil on my hand. I forgot to wear the little cloth thing to protect my hand, or whatever, to not smudge anything. I guess it would have smudged regardless. Stop cracking your knuckles. Cracking your knuckles is perfectly fine. Look it up. There's nothing wrong with cracking your knuckles, or cracking your neck, or cracking your back. Okay? It's perfectly healthy. It doesn't change anything. Made for blush? Made her blush? Yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, sorry, let's kind of steer away from the more political discussions. I know it's like, I have my stances, and people have their stances. Good for you. Yeah, I mean, I just, you know, I'm not going to pick my battles, right? Like, some people are going to still be a little bit behind in, like, you know, respecting other people, but at least people are, there's like lines that some people cross and some people don't, and I think we need to pick our battles more. But I can only speak for myself, and I can only live my own life. I can't force other people to live their lives, to live my life, or to think the way I do. But I am going to respect myself, and if somebody's going to disrespect me or deny my existence or deny my identity, I'm going to respect them enough to not have them as a part of my life. And that's just how it goes, bro. You know, I know who I am. You know, I had to go through a few surgeries to feel like the woman I am, but that doesn't make me any less of a woman, okay? Like, just because I had to get some surgeries to feel better in my own body, I'm really fucking happy. I mean, all the haters are gonna hate. They're not the ones waking up slapping some pussy every morning, okay? They just jealous. Okay, so that's why I feel okay. What is your job? I am permanently disabled, Gary. I have autism related issues and all sorts of like environmental related mental illnesses. But it's a slew of things that a judge decided merited a permanent disability label. And I have resources that are getting me into new housing. I have lifetime access to resources to help me because I have a developmental disorder. However, I do work as a model. I started working at a college for nude modeling for artists. And I'm perfectly comfortable with it, and I love it, actually. It's like really, it feels really normal. It doesn't feel sexual at all. It just feels like, it almost feels like I'm wearing clothes. I'm helping artists develop real skills, so that's meaningful. Plus I'm getting paid, but I'm not getting paid a ton. I just started, and when I move, I most likely will have to cut back on it, but either way, it's a huge resume builder, and it's going to help me get one skill after the other over time of becoming a professional model. I'm technically already a professional model. You like my bed? And your mic? Small room? Yeah, well, I'm gonna have a better setup when I move. Can you turn donations on? Not yet. I don't have that much viewers. And I don't have enough watch hours or whatever. I'm a girl. Permanently disabled. Yeah, I mean, Gary, I can't do that yet because you have to qualify for that. And honestly, it's not something I'm really going to try to fight for, because if you get natural organic growth on your YouTube channel, that's just like a side effect. Infestomania, I am disabled. I am literally legally declared permanently disabled by a judge in California. Do you understand? I'm like at a federal level, I am declared disabled. I get, you know, like, I get paid at a state level, but, yeah, it's really hard to get that it's really hard to get that legal status. Do you understand? They don't want to give this to people. Even blind people get denied. Like, I had to get denied 3 times and then get a lawyer. And then even then, it wasn't, like, guaranteed. You have to actually qualify in order to get this label and to get this income. Do you understand? People might not think that, common sense, bruh. Yeah, Walker. You know, people might not think that I'm disabled, but that it's like, well, reality doesn't care what you think. Okay, because I am literally collecting permanent disability money, and I have lifetime access to a developmentally disordered agencies. Okay, so how many subs do you need, bro? Oh, you're another one of those, aren't you, Walker? You're one of those people that thinks that just because I'm in California that everything is woke. I'm going to give you a little bit of a wake-up call, but California is not the way that people think it is. It is actually a very conservative state. Okay, like, I've had to work really hard to get everything I have. And even with, like, transgender surgeries, that was extremely hard to get. Okay, like, I don't know why people think that everybody is just like, oh, we love everybody and everybody gets a participation reward. I don't know where this fantasy exists. Because reality has other plans. Do you understand? Like, people live in reality. All these people who think everything is woke, like, what reality are you living in? Let me guess, you're a victim? I mean, everybody's a victim, if you really think about it. Trans? Like, everybody's a victim. I mean, first of all, if you're not making more than, like, 200K a year, you're already a victim. Like, if you're in my chat, you're already a victim of capitalism. Okay, so, come on. Okay. It's okay. We're gonna be okay. We're gonna be okay. Yeah, either way, yeah, the light went out. Sounds like... You're not a victim? But I'm gonna... No, Jesus Christ. You guys are crazy. You guys are crazy, bro. Wake up, sheeple. Is she AI generated? No. Even though I said it generated. You're not a victim? You don't get to tell others they are victims? What? If you really think that you're not a victim of a society that profits off of your undivided attention on a computer device to make you psychologically angry about things that you see other people do, I don't know what to tell you. You are definitely a victim. You're coming into people's chat and spreading nonsense, getting emotionally impacted by something a stranger tells you. Jesus is the way, truth, and life. True. You don't have victim mentality? I mean, what does that even mean? It's like, we have to define what these words even mean, right? Are you an elf queen? Maybe. Moog modular. Don't use the device then. Derp. I mean, you guys are the ones using it. You guys are the ones showing up to my chat saying all sorts of, you know, schizo shit. Come on. Who's the victim here? Who's the victim here? Would you ever cut a fart in your hand and then smell your heart? Do you even know me? You're acting like I don't do that already. What do you usually do on stream? Well, we did some drawing for like 2 hours. We did some drawing. For like 2 hours. And then how do you not know what a victim mentality is? Maybe you're projecting your own victim mentality on all the people that you think have a victim mentality. Have you ever thought about that? Have you ever thought that all the people on social media with mental illnesses that put like a bajillion of them in their internet profile, have you ever thought that maybe you're the one who is projecting something? These are people just living their lives and you're going to their profile and you're getting triggered by it. You're mad that someone put self-diagnosed mental health labels on their profile with like 20,000 different pronouns on it. Like, don't we live in like freedom of speech? Aren't those people allowed to do that? And you're getting mad that because you call it woke? Like, who is really the one with the victim mentality in this situation? You seem to be emotionally triggered by random pixels on the internet. What's up, dude? What's up, MMA? How you doing? Well, some people just get blocked from my chat. 60% of women. Yeah, some people are just gonna be getting blocked, right? It's a girl, and you should know because my name is Rebecca. I'm clearly presenting as female, so usually when people ask that, I almost never engage with it. I almost always time people out, especially if they get really weird about it. Calm the fuck down, bro. Reasoning on why we are victims besides empty act. I don't know. I'm just kind of trolling you. You can't bait me. I'm the master baiter. Like, do you guys understand? Like, I've been on the internet for like 26 years. You can't bait the master baiter. You guys are projecting your own discomfort onto me. Not nut milk or soy milk? What? I drink like cow milk. Does it feel cramped in your room? Yes, but I'm about to move. I have an agency looking for housing for me. They're gonna find me a structured like they're finding me a mentor home where I'm gonna have support. Goat milk. Tighter shirt. Wee woo, what is wrong with you? I can't make my shirt no tighter. It's already tight. It's tight like a toiga. It's tight like a toiga. We got a big tuna? Well, mine's really tight. The master of the master batera. The master batera? I'm great. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. I can beat you? Yeah, no, I've been on social media for like 26 years. You guys are amateurs. Because it doesn't even matter if you've been on the internet longer than me. It's not about time. It's about levels, right? Like, you go into a deeper level and you realize that there's like alternatives. And then you rise above that, and then you rise above that. You dive back in, even though you're still up here, and then it lifts both of those up. And then you swim around, and then you level this one up because you're swimming around. And then sooner or later you come back here and you push it way up here. And your ability to get triggered on the internet and have emotional problems related to the internet disappeared. Do you understand? You understand how this works? How you allow the internet to act a dipshit but can't work, get free housing, and then people work their ass off to comfort your lazy ass? Well, you know, some people just get blocked from my chat. Are you into gaming? Yeah, we're listening to OC Remix. This is rainwave.cc/OC Remix. It's video game remixes created by the community. You understand you do drugs? What? I mean, I had some caffeine earlier. I'm done with marijuana. Gaming, just whack off. Exactly. You guys should just whack off more. Whatever that means. There's a major delay? Yeah, I know. I put the delay on. I do have a job. What the fuck are you talking about? Sit still? No. Now I'm gonna move even more. Look what you did. Sit still. Sit still. Sit still. Sit still. Sit still. Yo, you guys are crazy. Okay? Like, what the fuck? Voice is deep? When are you guys gonna put your lotion on your skin? Okay, Jesus Christ, I've been waiting all day. What's wrong with you guys? Refusing to put lotion on your skin. You're gonna get the hose again. You are an annoying person. Thank you. I don't know what people expect to happen. Like, why are you here? Just to suffer. Like, why? 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 All these people like come in here. You think you're original. I've been streaming for 6 years. You're not the first person to come in and say these things. I'm gonna tell you right now. Thanks, Logan. You're not the first person to say the things you're saying. Like, what do you actually expect to happen? What are you doing that adds quality to your life? That's what I really want to know. Why are you here? Just to suffer. Suffering means you are alive? The fuck, bro? Oh! Oop, you meant something else. Okay, sorry. Let me unblock you. I just let the girl of my dreams walk out of my life forever. Shame me, please. You should be ashamed. After what I saw underneath those covers... Like, dude, you need like a battery charger. Here because I'm bored, sitting in my office, waiting for a very large check to clear. Bro. You think streaming is life? What gives you that idea, Unc James? Seriously, this is the biggest thing I don't understand about people who come to me and complain to me. What gives you this idea that what you see on my stream is my entire existence? Like, I truly want to know. Like, I truly want to know, like, what gives you this idea that you have me all figured out? That you know why I'm streaming. You know what I'm talking about at all. 99, 98, 97, 96, 95, 94. What the fuck? Yo, stop spamming, bro. So annoying. Crashing out over trolls? What about this makes you think I'm crashing out? Why are you convinced I'm crashing out? What is wrong with you guys? This looks like crashing out to you? What is wrong with you? I don't got no wang, bro. I got a pussy. It's like when you cover your face and go peekaboo. They genuinely only think what they see is real. Yeah, exactly, PJ Prada. Yeah. She's using the Asmongold defense. Oh wait, did I say that out loud? Until this time, we didn't know it was possible for a female to use the Asmongold defense. You guys have been played. You guys have been played so hard, bro. You guys have been played. Yet Walker is looking really closely, okay? And you can see you're a dumbass. I'm just kidding. What state are you in? I'm in a state of trance. State of Trance podcast. The fuck? The fuck? The fuck? What 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 the fuck? I'm not sure why she continues. You eat shrimp? Well, shrimp's kind of expensive. Yo, chat. All jokes aside, I think it's been a pretty good day. I streamed for about 3 hours. We've been here. I got a drawing. You know, we did good today. And all the weird skooma. What is this? Elder Scrolls? Okay, like all you guys in chat who are crashing out, sending good vibes to you. I hope things improve. Or I hope you're doing okay. You know, all jokes aside, you know, like there's some people who are truly lost in this world, and these aren't fake. Everything is blurry when I take them off. I think I look more attractive without them. Play some Chrono Trigger music. Favorite color? Lavender. Tight shirt tomorrow. I'm gonna wear like a freaking bed sheet tomorrow just to piss you off. Don't crack your knuckles. I'm a strong bitch. I don't know. She is a A cup, probably. Maybe a B cup. Yeah, I don't know. You might subscribe. Please subscribe. I need your validation. Dude, no, I'm a chick. I got a pussy. Okay, and yeah, I went to great lengths to present as female, so you guys are like just undermining all my work. Why would you do this to me? I worked so hard, and you guys are just like throwing it out the window. Like it doesn't matter. I spent 6 years of my life getting surgeries and transitioning, and this is how you guys are gonna treat me? Are you an illustrator? No, I'm learning how to draw. I've never stuck with art for any like good length of time my entire life. I'm 38 years old now, and I'm trying my best to actually stick with it. I have not missed a single day in 5 weeks. I have drawn every day. I haven't streamed every day, but I've been drawing every day. So it's good. It's good. Dean Goldberry. Oh, I see what you did there, bro. Anyway, I hope you guys are having I hope I made your day a little happier. I try to have good vibes whenever I can. And I just try to have fun, and I let things roll off me because I know people are going to be weird because you guys are on the internet. And, you know, because nobody ever says anything weird on the internet. Ever. Anyway. Bye. All right.